What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Grindline Podcast. I am your host, Greg. You're listening to episode 172. I am here tonight with Ryan, but also with the meme queen of Twitter, Sara, also known as @Helmeroids on Twitter. Sara, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well for a Monday. I think, like everyone, looking forward to the draft lottery, which I definitely did not forget about at all.
No, not at all.
I've remembered it this whole time. I know exactly what time it's at, what day it's on, what pick we're getting, who the draft prospects are. I'm 100% prepared. Just don't ask me any questions about it.
That was funny. Last night, someone had asked, like I tweeted about something, and someone tweeted back, they're like, "When's the draft lottery?" I look it up. I go, "Oh shit, it's Tuesday."
Yes.
I'm like, totally did not forget that the draft lottery is Tuesday. But yeah, I'm so excited to pick 10th in this draft. It's going to be amazing. Ryan,
I don't even want to get first. I just want to complain about it.
No, yeah. We need something to complain about. If we get first, then we actually have to be happy for an episode and start doing more prospect Actually, you can do even less prospect research at that point because you know you're getting Shane Wright.
And be like, hey, tell us who we're picking first.
Yeah, exactly. Ryan, how are you tonight?
Oh, not bad. I'm low-key dreading my schedule the next 2 weeks, but that's neither here nor there.
So you're all of us. Congratulations.
Next week, there's not a single day that it will have a day off because there's 1, 2, 3 different nights of softball during the week. And then we're out of town Friday through Sunday for a tournament.
Life, man. That's why you don't do children's sports.
Or children.
Or children at all.
Well, we have Sara on tonight because, as we do every year now, because Sara does this amazing thing that is called the Detroit Red Wings Awards. This is the 9th annual Detroit Red Wings Awards. You are almost at your 10-year mark. That's like real impressive. Are you going to do something like crazy, like rent out a hall for year 10? Like,
probably not, but I've been year 10 has definitely been on my mind, and that's why I kept saying, I'm going to scale it back this year a little bit, which I only kind of did. But I was like, I have to, I can't go all out for year 9 and then year 10 be like, nah, same old. Like I gotta
extravaganza.
I gotta really have something.
Zhuzh it up.
I don't know what
explosion next season.
I gotta do something bigger. Maybe with the videos. I don't know, but
yeah, you could rent out a hall, have people dress up like different people that were nominated for awards. And if they win, they have to walk up and accept them, except for you have to hold it at a Chili's. That's what you have to do. It's got to be held at a Chili's, and you need to make little awards. But yeah, so it's the 9th annual awards. But before we get into that, we kind of want to talk a little bit of actual hockey in the season that went by, which was kind of a blur. Really good first half, and we had talked before, really bad second half that resulted in the non-renewal of Jeff Blashill's contract. How excited are you about that?
I mean, it's mixed feelings as a Red Wings fan, just a normal fan. I am sure I'm happy about it. As a meme artisan, it is a difficult thing to let go of because I probably have 75 Blashill memes. And that might be an underestimation, but I'm definitely not over exaggerating. It's at least 70. And
there were no shortage of faces.
There were no, it's not only that I have memes, I also have faces and like reaction video things. There's just so much content, which maybe it was getting old, so it's good to bring in someone new.
No, it wasn't. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, it's
every time one came out or there was a bad game, we knew that he could be relied upon for a new meme.
Yeah, he always has something. He either does like the little lizard faces that he does, or it's like his tongue flicks out a little bit, and like the bird thing.
Or he stares at the sky.
He's kind of like a life-sized Muppet.
Yeah. So I am going to miss that, and I didn't speculate this year at all about the Blash spot and like what happened to it if it was still there, because that was a big story last year, if anyone remembers.
Yes, I think it is still in Ryan's Twitter bio. I believe.
Spotted bunghole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah.
So it's like it's the right thing to do. I know I'm happy as a Wings like just hockey fan, but as as my side job of a memer, it's like, oh, it's hard to let go of a muse.
And you woke up angry this morning at the Barry Trotz announcement that he was fired, and then the immediate Red Wings fan base jumping on the hire Barry Trotz bandwagon.
I did. And I'm not usually like choosing violence, but I don't know. I was a little bit today. I'm just so sick of hiring all the same people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just this carousel. And I'm like, and I think that's when I said something about like inbred monarchy system, where like eventually you're just gonna have a bunch of deformed little bald goblin coaches because I keep hiring them and like breaking them down.
It'll be like the Hills Have Eyes in the NHL. Yeah. Where it's just gonna be, this is like Jeff Blashill's like third kid, and for like inbreeding, and now he's the coach.
It'll
and
be these
they all
weird
run
little clones, like little crossbred Barry Trotz, Blashill clones.
We have
the angry
twins
little
running
face.
it. One's name is Dump and one's name is Chase, and that's what happened
God.
eventually. But yeah, we did a whole, was it last episode, where that's pretty much what we talked about, is we're done with the coaching
About all the
carousel.
coaches but a guy named Barry Trotz.
Yeah, and it's the coaching carousel at some point has to end. Look what Yzerman did with Cooper in Tampa. He went off the board. I don't know how far off the board it was, because Cooper was, I mean, a good coach at the level he was at, but he wasn't a well-known coach.
But he's already in the NHL, though.
Sure, but he comes in and he ends up in the end winning a championship for Tampa. So I don't think you need to hire a Barry Trotz. One, I hear that Barry Trotz wants some roster decision stuff too, like GM capability, and he's not going to get that in Detroit. And I'm not sure Detroit is in the place where Barry Trotz is going to want to kind of maybe give his last coaching hurrah, having to wait. I mean, we're at least 5 years from contending for a cup, and I don't think he's going to want to wait that long. So it's a good thought if you like boring defense first, low offense hockey. Great, hire Barry Trotz and they're the best defense in the league. But then your scorers aren't going to be too happy. So I don't like it. You didn't like it. We both chose violence. It was great. But I kind of
goes against the exact opposite of what everyone's clamoring for. Yes, they want a better defense, but they also won goals. And well, you weren't getting either of those things from Jeff Blashill. So now you're only going to get one of those things by going with the Barry Trotz. So
pick your poison, kind of. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
I just want someone new. And I mean, Blash was like new. But he had his more shots than Zadina missing the net. Like so many shots.
More shots than the Red Wings on an average night.
Yes, which is a low bar, clear. But so it's time to move on. I did say I would, laugh my ass off if he ended up with like coaching the Islanders. Or really anywhere. He'll somehow end up
at all.
He'll end up in Edmonton. Somehow.
He'll end up in Winnipeg. They'll ship him to Winnipeg.
I wouldn't be surprised by any of those, to be quite honest with you. As dumb as that sounds, probably. Like,
Flash will have to get several hats to cover his head in the frigid winters of Winnipeg.
Right. You got to think that he's going to get at least one chance to prove himself, because he had no chance in Detroit.
Yeah.
And that was just the simple fact of it.
Sure.
So I'd be intrigued if one of these teams, I could watch he goes to New Jersey and just plummets them even further.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, as much as we all make fun of him, he seems like he's a nice guy.
Sure, I have nothing against him.
Like I want to see success, not against us, but like on some other loser team. Yep. and have success. And for this to be, it was just a case of a team and a coach not matching.
Yeah.
And like we've had players like that, like a whole bunch of Thomas Yurko. Sure. Pause for everyone screaming. Okay. But being like, it's just, you can have a good player and a good team and they just don't, like, and Mantha and Verana, like that was a great trade. Oh, I should say it like Ken Daniels. Verana.
Jacob Vrana. Oh, don't worry. We got yelled at on Twitter for pronouncing Philip Hronek's name wrong. So
you did?
Yeah. Someone was mad at you, I think, because someone said Hronek instead of Hronek. And they said it totally takes away from the conversation when you can't pronounce the person's name correctly. So
we've already gone over this. I don't pronounce anyone's name correctly.
Ryan doesn't even pronounce his own name correctly.
Sometimes.
But the other thing I kind of wanted to go over is I want to get your worst player of the season, just based on your viewing. And then I want to get your most improved player of the season. And if it's not the same one as me, I'm going to be angry. So who is your
Well,
worst player?
Well, I know who the most improved one is. So if you don't agree, you're the one who's wrong.
Oh,
but
okay.
worst player, I mean, it's hard to argue against De Kaiser because it's just always so disappointing because every year I'm like, this time it's gonna be, that's like how every Detroit fan is like, this time it's gonna be different.
Maybe he found that witch in the forest to heal his knee.
De Kaiser. I'm like, this time it's gonna be different. It's gonna be the renaissance of Danny De Kaiser.
like
his
Erickson.
swan song. Like, I never really went to bat for Erickson, but I just like DK. He just seems like such a nice guy, and like he just kind of showed up, and he was like, oh, I want success for you, but oh God, you just piss me off. Like,
can you move?
And he's just this boat anchor attached to Sider's leg. So, but it's also like he was good for Sider because he made Sider look really good because he's so terrible.
He made Sider work so hard and develop so much faster because he had to do literally everything.
Rookie of the year.
The light shines all the brighter with the darkness around it. So it's real hard to argue against De Kaiser, even if I want to, but he's got it. But you know who else I was disappointed in?
Philip Zadina.
Felipe Hronek.
Oh yeah.
I was disappointed in. I mean, I sound like his mother. I'm disappointed in you.
Clean your room, Philip.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what it was, but I just kept noticing him. Yep. And you don't always want to notice defensemen. You just want him to like do stuff. And notice it was always for a wrong reason. A weird pass, he's in the wrong spot, a goal is scored while he's kind of standing there looking a different direction.
Yeah.
And as the season went on, I was noticing it more and more, maybe because I was looking for it, but I was like, come on, dude, you're supposed to be the one I want paired with Sider.
Yeah.
And now I'm worried that you're going to also be a slightly smaller boat anchor.
It's funny that our common like disappointment kind of on the back end, other than De Kaiser, was Hronek, even though he was fifth on the team in scoring, but it was still overshadowed that much by his performances on the ice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the way I kind of explained it was that Hronek, and it's been known since kind of when we drafted him, he's an offensive defenseman.
Yes.
We had like -5 defensive defensemen on the left-hand side. Like Mark Stahl's on the left-hand side, and he clearly was an offensive defenseman. We got Wallman towards the end of the season, but Wallman, a lot of times, Blash will put him on the bottom pair. And that wasn't helping him. I thought Wallman should have been paired with Sider. But our left side of the defense, Danny De Kaiser, left defense, it was just really bad. Like we need two, I would say, left defensemen. If you bring back Stahl, you need one more. But I think if you put an Edvinsson with a Hronek, maybe those mistakes don't happen as often because he has a defensive partner that can make up for his lack of defense. So I don't want to go, and I think that's why they re-signed him. I don't want to go and say trade Hronek this offseason because you'd be trading him low. I want to see him under a new coach that may help him. There were reports that some of the younger players were not too happy with Blash. And I think Hronek is one of the ones that was deployed incorrectly. He should have never been on the penalty kill. That is not a defenseman you want killing a penalty. So I want to see him under a different coach. I want to see Zadina under a different coach just to see maybe they can get something more out of him. And what I'll point to is kind of look at Cole Caulfield after Martin St. Louis came in and his scoring took off. Now, was it coincidence? Maybe. But the last coach may not have played a system to his strength or may not have let him do what he wants to do. So I'm going to give Hronek I'm going to give him another season before we say, oh yeah, he totally regressed and should be kicked out of town.
Yeah, there's no point in trading him. I mean, like, for what?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like it's like, oh, we got to stock up everyone right now. Next year, we're going for it. It's like, we still got, sorry guys, still got time.
We'll be going for the lottery again.
Yeah. We're making the right strides, but there's no point in just kind of dumping people right now.
You think about it with guys that are leaving the team. Osterley is going to be your oldest defenseman.
Yep.
So the next closest after him will be Wallman if he's brought back, And then Olevi, if he is brought back,
If he still exists.
he just turned 24.
Yeah.
So
Did he? Is he a real
Ronick will
person?
be
Have we
25
confirmed
in
that?
November. So
Ryan, have we confirmed that Ali Alevi's a real person? Because I think Blashill played him like 3 times.
that's also frustrating.
Yeah, and that's another one. I wanted to get a look at him, and Blashill did
Hellman,
not want to look at him.
Didn't he score like a game-winning goal one time? Or like a good,
Hellman,
he scored a goal at some point.
Did our defense score a goal? What, someone not named Moritz Sider? Did anyone
Levy
score
score?
a goal?
Levy had no points.
Oh,
Well, he only played what, 4 games?
8
Osterley. I was
games.
thinking of Osterley.
Oh, Osterley. Yeah, if you.
he did score.
Yeah, we had said that if Jordan Osterley scores on your team, you get relocated.
Yep.
That's what happens. So Jordan Osterley should never score on your team. He is not a good hockey player. It's another one I don't think. Wait, he signed for another year.
Yeah, yes.
He could go to Grand Rapids. And no one would know the difference. I actually think he might be one of the award winners for guy you don't remember exists. So most improved player, Sarah.
It's Rass, 100%.
Absolutely.
It's gotta be Rass. And
Not even a debate.
I'll give
No.
but I'm gonna give a lot of credit also to Stahl for improving because he bummed me out last year, but so did everyone. But this year it was like he was noticeable for good reasons.
Mm-hmm.
There were very few times where I was like, God damn it, what are you doing? Like, you're in totally the wrong spot, doing the totally wrong thing. Like, he seemed like he was a really good fit. And I'm sure he's a great locker room guy because he's Mr.
He's the dad.
He's the dad. He and Gagne, they're the dads. So
did he Freaky Friday with Philip Hronik?
I don't know. I mean, Hronik was
He
starting
only
to
had
get
16 points.
Does he have a beard? Does Hronik have a beard now?
He does.
Yeah, because that's a sign. That's like a real indicator.
I'm sorry. Are we saying Hronik? I think it's Hronik for the person who got mad at us on Twitter. I'm sorry. I think it's Hronik.
I'm just gonna say it differently every single time.
Next is Philip Hronik. That's who's next.
Yeah, Hronik.
But yes, Moose is the most improved. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was so happy. Because obviously I love memeing him because he looks crazy.
Yes.
And people drag on him, like hate him so much. And I was like, come on, man.
Just do the thing.
I can't have Danny DeKaiser, but I can. You still have hope. And I thought he brought, as much as people were also like, Zadina, trade him. I thought Rass really brought out a lot of good in Zadina. He just needs glasses. He needs a visit to Dr. Romani so he can see where the net actually is. It seems like he sees 3 nets and he's like, I'm going to pick this one. And it's always the wrong one.
And it's always the goalie's
logo
chest.
on the chest.
Exactly. Yeah, I like it because now I can do a lot of Invader Zim room with a moose memes for Michael Rasmussen.
Right?
And he's already got the crazy eyes. And I don't think he ever smiles. There's maybe 2 pictures of him smiling. The rest of him looks like he was dropped into a room and doesn't know where he is. So it's good. And we had talked about him too, where we said, is he ever going to justify being picked 9th? Probably not. But can people stop shitting on him now? Yes, people can stop shitting on him now because he's shown he can be a good middle 6 player and dependable every night. And even Mickey Redmond, who is never wrong, said that he is making himself into an integral part of this team. He is carving out a role for himself that you have to make it so that, Michael Rasmussen is on your team going forward. And he's going to be your big guy who now doesn't fall down anymore and will go to the corner and fight for pucks. He'll plant his ass in front of the net and play the Holmstrom role if you want him to. But he's also showed that he's got a really good shot. Like, he was on fire at the end of the season. So Michael Rasmussen, amazing this season. I will take it.
Most improved because he made, like I said, he makes the players he's with better.
Yep.
And that's what you want, is you want
Especially
someone
for depth guy.
You want someone who makes them better. And, as you says, that was his problem, where he wasn't owning his size. I always think about that. I had like an instructor in college, and there was this really tall kid in our class, and she's like, own your height. Stop hunching over. You're tall. Deal with it. And I think about that. I'm like, Raz, you're a giant. Get used to it. You're
Do
gonna have
giant
other
things.
you have other giants around you. Like we're like Easter Island now. Like you own it. Own your space. And I feel like he started doing that more where he's like, this is my bubble. If you come into my bubble, I'm gonna kick your ass. So just get out of my way.
Yeah. Enjoy being the biggest person before Elmer Soderblom gets here. That's
The thing if he takes on some pointers from Mo on that reverse check.
Yeah.
yeah, Mo the
You
captain.
throw that on a
reverse
guy
check.
like him. Ooh.
Yeah. But we're going to jump into the Detroit Red Wings awards. Actually, first, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break to read a message from our sponsor, and then we will jump into the Detroit Red Wings awards. What's up? It's Greg here from the Grindline podcast with a message from Manscaped. Growing out your playoff beard, let that thing loose up top, but our friends at Manscaped are here to help you avoid a jumbo Joe downstairs. The global leaders in below the waist grooming want to save your hockey pucks from a slap shot in crunch time this playoff season. 4 million men worldwide trust Manscaped to prepare them for the Stanley Cup. Join them and go to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code GRINDLINE. Shaving your balls starts with a perfect package for your package, the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and has a 400K LED spotlight. When you need a more precise shave, the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer is also included in this package, which is also waterproof, uses skin-safe technology, so you can keep the unnecessary roughness on the ice where it belongs. There is no more pinching. There is no more pulling. There's no more crying because you're ripping out your nose hairs. Shaves them clean off with no issues at all whatsoever. The Crop Preserver is an anti-chafing ball deodorant to keep your balls sticking to your legs from end to end. No one will be chirping you anymore. The Crop Reviver is a spray-on toner for your balls. It's made with soothing aloe and witch hazel extracts that will give your balls a boost. Manscaped even threw in their Shed travel bag. Amazing bag, super soft, has just enough room for all the tools plus some extras. It's not too big. My problem is generally that the bags are too small and cannot fit everything, so I end up throwing extra stuff in a backpack. This bag is just the right size. The boys will be buzzing this Stanley Cup lineup from Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code GRINDLINE at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code GRINDLINE at manscaped.com. Don't be a goon fighting your bush with the wrong trimmer. Choose the right tools for the job this playoff season with Manscaped. But we want to talk about the Red Wings awards, which is even more amazing. And I think, what did we do last year? We went one by one and kind of went through like the kind of
you went through a
explanation of the
couple.
award.
So yeah, you
Yeah.
can pick out
Yeah, we went
pick
through
out your
some of the
faves.
bigger.
Yeah, I like how you started with best game of the season and worst game of the season because those were really easy to pick. Like best game of the season was definitely the home opener, and worst game of the season was definitely the blowout to Arizona.
You're
And
the only person who said that was an easy decision. Everyone else
really
agonized over it. And that's why I put them first, because I wanted to be like, look, you might have to think about this. So let me put them first in case you like close out and then go back in.
Well, maybe I think that the best game was the home opener because we were there and there was a lot of offense. I mean, my second best game is probably where Sider punched Crosby in the face. That's probably my second best game, but the worst has to be that Arizona blowout. Like, you lost that bad to that bad of a team.
Yeah, I don't know if I could pick a worse game. Sorry if you can hear like some sort of screeching from my end. There's like a cat fight outside or something.
Okay, we're going to need updates as the episode goes along on whatever's happening outside of your house.
Stevie is
That's a
gone.
live action.
Stevie's gone nuts. But yeah.
Wait, is he outside?
No, Stevie is inside. She's fine,
okay.
But she is running between the windows.
Oh, she wants to know what's going on outside.
Yeah, she wants in on this, but no. No. So sorry if you hear like
I want to
cats
say
screaming.
my worst game was Pittsburgh.
Really?
I'm
I
like,
think
which
the
one?
11-2 loss is what I chalked up.
Oh,
I was at
okay.
the Arizona game. I thought that was bad, but the complete utter blowout, I chose the worst one. I think my best pick was the shutout against Carolina for Ned.
Okay, that's a good one. I like the This Guy Award because it's the most forgettable player that you forgot who existed until you looked at the list. And that one was also very easy for me. I think a lot of these were easy for me because I think about these constantly. And I mean, I'm going to say a name and you're going to say who? And I'm just going to say Ryan Carter Rowney. Yeah, as he looks at his phone, are you Googling Carter Rowney, Ryan? But that
No, I
is,
was reading a text message.
oh yeah, Carter Rowney. That is, I, it's that or Ali Levy because you probably only saw him like 3 times, but I don't think he made the list. So
Yeah,
um,
some of the list it was like you had to have played a certain number of games as a Red Wing. I don't remember I had some arbitrary like cutoffs, but it was what was different this year. And if anyone hasn't voted yet, is that instead of picking a group of people to then pick like nominees, I was like, no, just drop down lists. Everybody is an option now, because half the times I would fill in half the ballot myself, and that felt really biased. So I was like, no, this time it's
you
gonna
made
be
it
different.
easy for yourself this year. Good on you.
Well, yeah, that was honestly the goal. I was like, I just need it to be easier this year, but still fun. I want everybody to have fun, but I was like, no collaboration, no coordination. I'm just doing this all myself because it's easier.
Do you have the graphics done?
No, well, I don't know who won. There are
Yeah.
some very
Well, you can do them and
close.
just fill them in later.
Yeah, and some of them that are the same. Like if I use the same awards every year, I can just I have like the template and can just cut out a player and drop him in. But when it's really close, I'm like, I won't know until 2 days before. Eventually, I do close it off, but
Yeah, you have to have an end date. Make it easy on yourself.
yeah, but I'm like kind of scrolling through my graphs right now. There are quite a few that are very, very close. A couple of runaways and then a couple of like two-way races, but some of them it's like it's wide open. So voters, your vote counts. It really does. The only institution in the world where your vote
where your
really
vote
matters.
actually matters. Let me see. Some of them I think are probably going to be pretty close. So the Tablescaping Award for Best Playmaker and Setup Man, generally I give that to Dylan Larkin. And I think I might have still done that this season, but I could also see Lucas Raymond being a good choice for that. I could also see Mo Sider being a good choice for that. So I think that is one that could be pretty close. But yeah, generally it was a runaway for Larkin because Larkin was really our only good setup man.
I can see that coming down pretty heavily between Bert and Larkin, but most likely.
Well, I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Is it close?
Kind of. The race for second place is closer than the race for first place.
See, my second place would have been probably Bertuzzi and Raymond, and then Larkin would have been my first place. But that's one that I like because you get into a lot of these make you think, like go back and look at stats or go back and look at plays and kind of think about who do you see? Primary assists are good, but who does the slick plays? And I think Larkin does the more slick passes. Raymond had a lot of really good ones this season too. So that's one that I really like. The Dropped Gloves Award, I didn't see a choice of no one. So for the player who did the best job defending himself and his teammates, that is one thing that I think a lot of people constantly yelled about this season was, why is no one standing up for anyone? Why are they all letting each other get beat up? And you throw Giovanni Smith out there and he takes stupid penalties and then you let in 4 more goals. So what are you going to do? But I'm like, I got to pick Giovanni Smith because he's the only one that fought, really.
He just loses every fight.
Exactly. People are like, we need more Giovanni Smith. I'm like, why? So he can go out and get his ass kicked and take a penalty? Like, I went on there, hockeyfights.net that posts like every fight in the winner and loser. And I went back and watched all of the Giovanni Smith fights. I'm like, he lost every single fight. And I think we lost all but one game where he fought. So his fighting did not help at all. Helped absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I was like, man, I really want you to win your fights, but even Mick, I think at some point was like, oh, come, like you gotta like at least get one punch in.
Pick your battles, kid. Ryan, you looked like you were going to say something.
Oh no, I'm trying to think of who I picked for this one. I was hoping my picks would show up. I want to say it was probably Bird or Larkin that I ended up selecting here. But Cider, I think, could be a fair one too. Even though he didn't really fight, but he would get mixed in whenever he was on the ice with
He got in
somebody.
people's faces.
Yeah.
and just laughs at them. And
He does,
I love that about him, that because like, national hero Luke Glendenning did that a lot, where he just kind of really annoy people with how chipper he was.
What
And
about all of
I
them
like it.
laughing at the other bench? That was okay. So like Renaissance painting
Iconic.
of the season was the Bertuzzi and Raymond and Robbie Fabry laughing at the people on the other bench. The other one though, I would say Mo too, because Mo laughs because he's like, haha, you're getting beat up by a child. That's what's like, I'm a large child and I'm beating you up. And just him punching Crosby in the face was the best thing ever. I don't think I had to add that into my social media thank you video for a Mo Sider highlight, him punching Crosby in the face.
Yeah, I feel like that's a real welcome to Detroit moment. Like, you've made it. Once you like face wash Crosby, you've made it.
Yeah. No, and honestly, I would have just turtled him. He should have just turtled Crosby and made DMAC proud. That would have been amazing. But yeah, he'll get there. I don't think Sider will start any fights, but I think Sider will fight in his career. I think it will happen. Like I'm not sure Nick Lidstrom ever fought anyone, but I think German Lidstrom will fight someone.
Yeah, or they'll try to start a fight with him and he won't notice.
He'll be like, "What's happening?"
I'm like, did like a fly land on me?
Kind of like Chara all those years.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, like a Brendan Smith trying to fight Zdeno Chara.
That's exactly what I thought of.
Like holding his head as Smith like flails his arms. There's competition for the highbrow award again, Sarah.
Highbrow
for best eyebrows.
Best eyebrows is back. I'm scrolling down. I think people will be after the awards. I usually tweet out pictures of like the graphs or the results, and I think people will be surprised by the highbrow award and how maybe it's competitive, but not as competitive as people think. I don't know if this is like a third party being included vote situation where there were too many choices and that's like bitten away from other votes, but I think people will be surprised, which is great.
Well, we had late entry strong contender Jake Wallman enter the season, and I mean he's got Veleno eyebrows.
Yeah, so. He was. I was wondering if he was going to throw a wrench in there because I was like, you can't deny him. They're strong. They're strong.
Ryan, who's got the best eyebrows on the team? Ryan, who has the best eyebrows on the team? Ryan.
Now my internet's cut. You gave me your bad juju with internet here.
It's not me, I swear. I yelled at AT&T for
an
hour.
We're talking about caterpillars.
Don't be afraid. You have to answer. Who has the best eyebrows?
Who has the best eyebrows, Ryan?
Yeah, I had it pulled up, but I closed it. Who was on the list? I think I went
everyone.
with
everyone, the entire team.
Was the entire team?
Yes.
I want to say I went with Fabry.
Okay, Fabry does have some nice eyebrows. It's Italian. The first thing you think of when you think of Robbie Fabry. That's what happened on the Mojo show.
I don't think he can beat those. Yeah.
Mo Sider as Lucas Raymond. First thing you think of when you hear Robbie Fabry, and Raymond says Italian. So that was really interesting. Let's see. What were some of the other ones I liked? I did like the NPC Award. Now that's new, right?
That is new. I was trying to think of. I feel like the in-arena on broadcast team really stepped up their game this year and got more involved on social. And I was trying to find a way to recognize that without it being like, yeah, Ken and Mick win, obviously.
Yeah.
So I was like, not broadcasters, but everyone else.
Just people that talk about the team from the game.
Yeah. And that is really close.
I don't know. I gave it to our girl, Daniela.
It's really...
She is killing it. Daniela is amazing. Her content is awesome. She was recognized several times by the actual team this year for like the great accomplishments for female broadcasters and stuff. And she called the games on the radio. She did a couple games on the radio. and she's just been really good. And she is nice enough to come on the podcast. So that's the other bonus she gets
Well,
there.
and honestly, she's kind of what made me think about it and be like, this would be pretty competitive. And I will say it's not me because I don't vote, but there are people out there who voted for Art. And I don't know.
Bless his heart.
Everybody got at least
Intentionally?
I don't know. Maybe they were on the menu and they slipped. There are some trolls who do vote. But everybody got some votes. So good for them.
Bless Art's heart. He tries. I mean, maybe not a lot, but he tries. And he's been doing it for a really long time. And as much as we make fun of Art, I mean, he tries. That's really all we can say.
He's the one that's
got a
doing
vote.
it. We're not.
He tried hard enough to get a vote, intentionally or not.
Yeah, because I was trying to decide who to include, and I was like, if I include DMAC, I have to include Art. If I include Art, I have to include DMAC. Like and I was like, and if I include Carly, I got to do both of them. Everybody on that in arena team has to.
You included Lance Luce.
I did. I love Lance. I've never met him, but I just love his energy, and
He follows us.
Having the organ on there. And I was like, yeah, I don't care if he did get votes. I'm like, I don't care. I'm putting him on there because I personally enjoy him very much.
I do too. He's good to interact with.
It'd be very rude to not include him.
He's good to interact with. He's a very wholesome guy. He tags us in tweets. He has sparkly jackets. We like Lance too.
Good.
You yelled at us in the Trader Award.
Oh, I did. There's some things where I wrote stuff down. I was like, oh, go delete that later.
You did not delete the in all caps. Marian Hossa is not an option. Let it go.
Yeah. Because at first I was going to rename the award, the Marian Hossa Award, but I just liked the name Trader Award. It's too much. And I don't want to give Hossa that much credit. So
you could rename it the Sergei Fedorov Award.
I could have renamed it the Jeff Blashill Award. There's a reason he wasn't on the ballot. And there was no Torch and Pitchfork Award this year because there was that
would have been a runaway vote.
I tried to have votes that weren't going to be runaways. And between Blash and Mo, it kind of really threw a wrench in the works. Why do you have like a best rookie award? Sorry, Lucas, but like Mo is going to take that. Best hair? What am I supposed to do with that?
Handsomest German? Who am I going to give that award to?
Most hated person. That's why it's like players only. Trader Award. No coaches, no past grudges. Players. Current
I
players.
think that current players also made this one then I think really easy. And I mean I had to go with Danny DeKeyser because like you said earlier, Danny DeKeyser just constantly disappointing. That was like a good name for an award, the Constantly Disappointing Award. But it is, and again, bless his heart, Danny DeKeyser, he tries. And that's the same. Danny DeKeyser is the Art Regner of the Detroit Red Wings. I'm sure he's like a really, really nice guy.
That's a little too far. Give Danny a little more credit.
I think you've crossed the line with that one.
Okay, Danny DeKeyser is the Jeff Blashill of the team. I'm sure he's a really nice guy. He's just not good anymore. So
if I say he's
the blame to is what you're saying.
If I say he's the Justin Abdelkader of the team, I want to see how like red Ryan's face is going to get.
Well,
like
not even trying. I'm pretty sure it's working.
See, the problem with Justin Abdelkader was that Justin Abdelkader was never really good. He was just propped up by Pavel Datsyuk. You put Ryan next to Pavel Datsyuk and he'll get a giant contract from Ken Holland.
Michael Bunting.
I was going to say Michael Bunting.
Yeah, you can put Michael Bunting's grandkids next to Pavel Datsyuk and they would be okay. But it's Danny DeKeyser was good the first few years, and then he had catastrophic injuries, and they continued to pay him money and play him big minutes, which made no sense. So, I mean, I had to go with Danny DeKeyser because I'm not sure he just caused me heartbreak, but also Mo Sider, and that also makes me angry.
And anyone that played offense.
Sure, yeah. Anyone that wanted to do anything other than skate backwards. That's who caused problems with Danny DeKaiser. And again, if I can't pick Marian Hossa, I have to pick Danny DeKaiser. And then next year, when he retires, I'm going to have to find someone else to scapegoat. So it should be called the Scapegoat Award for person who's not. It's not their fault.
I think it was called that. I think it was called that at some point, or just that was the description. The funniest thing for me about the Trader Award is how many names there are that people voted for.
Really?
Including Oscar Sundquist. What did he ever do? He just got here. Did he
was
punch
really
someone's
good.
grandma? He just got. So I'm like, I wonder if people like had any slips.
Well, maybe it's because they think he has like a really, really creepy smile. Like he does super creepy smile with like his chipped tooth and everything. So maybe they just freak him out.
You would have held that against him.
So like, there's no way
Not
anyone
so pretty
could've,
Swede.
There's no way anyone could have voted for Dylan Larkin. No way for this award.
I guarantee there's votes for Dylan Larkin.
But there's just ones that wouldn't make sense. Dylan Larkin would not make sense on here.
Yeah. When does the Red Wings fan base make sense and agree across the whole
think about,
thing?
Greg, we had an entire episode dedicated to going off about people giving shit to Dylan Larkin. So do you really think that would be an out of the ordinary thing that people
was
call him a
literally
traitor?
like 3 episodes ago?
And DMAC was like, leave him alone. I'll punch you down.
DMAC threatened people with a baseball bat. That's what happened. He on his show had a baseball bat and pointed it at the camera and told everyone.
This is how short our memories
he almost
are.
broke his own bobblehead.
Yeah, almost.
It was like what, 3 weeks ago, maybe.
It was 3 weeks ago. It was absolutely 3 weeks ago. The other one,
the next day, it was like surgery. And we're like, oh,
we have the mind of goldfish. I have to go back and remember what episode we're on from episode to episode. So the other one I could see getting votes for the Trader Award is Tyler Bertuzzi because he couldn't play in Canada. That would be a reason for him to get some votes. So I mean, Adam Ernie's just bad at hockey. I don't know why he's still here. Robbie Fabry got hurt. That wasn't his fault. Thomas Greiss was, again, not good. There's actually a lot of good choices for this, but I think Danny DeKaiser was my lock from the beginning. As soon as I saw his name on the list, it got clicked. So
yeah, a lot of people got votes. Like this is, I don't know. This is like one of the funniest awards. It's like,
it shouldn't be either. It should not be a funny award.
It's like Mitchell Stevens. Is he a traitor? Because you didn't remember who he was until he got a penalty.
Like 4 games.
Fuck that guy, Mitchell.
His name's Mitchell. I have a cousin named Mitchell. I hate that kid. He gets the award.
Oh, 2 first names? No.
Looking at you, Lucas Raymond.
Oh no, don't do it.
Oh, that means he's got votes, which even that one. Like what? No.
Yeah, what did Lucas do wrong? I actually think Lucas Raymond might be one of the only players on our team that has 2 first names. Yeah, I mean Mitchell Stevens is Mitchell Stevens, so it's not really. Okay. Yeah, so he's the only one. And then the last one to round it out that I was going to talk about was the MVP for the 2021-22 season. My MVP, as good as Mo Sider was, my MVP is Dylan Larkin. And because I feel like this is the first year where Larkin came in, and even though he was captain when we couldn't do like an official ceremony or anything, we were able to do the ceremony this season. He grabbed this team, like grabbed the bull by the horns, for lack of a better phrase. He made this team his team, worked his ass off every single night, had the season of his career so far. And if he can do that again next season, I mean, people have to shut up about him not being a first line center. So I my MVP for this season is Dylan Larkin, hands down.
No, I think I wouldn't wholeheartedly agree to that. You can make the case for Mo. You can make the case for Raymond for the types of years they had. I think if Bert's playing a full season outside of the COVID issues and being hurt, I think that he easily competes or contends for that honor, if you will. But the way Larkin brought it night in and night out, and fuck you to anyone that says he didn't.
Yep.
But slide that one in there real quick. Like the way he performed is what you would expect for a captain. And I know that you can't put him on the level that Yzerman was, but you can compare him in the way he performed after maybe the Scotty Bowman years came in regards to he played a full game, 200 feet, offense, defense. I love that they finally started putting him on the penalty kill toward the end of the season, and he was actually getting out there in all aspects of the ice, because that's how you're going to submit him as a top center in the league. And it fit him perfectly. You look at some of the top teams in the playoffs right now, their top players are on the penalty kill. So he's to take that next step, which I feel like he's going to do as long as he's healthy, knock on wood again. Like, that's all you can ask for. And I'm done gushing over Dylan. Okay.
Yeah, this is another award where you can really pick out who the trolls are. And just to all the trolls out there, yeah, I know who the trolls are. Not personally, not like I can hunt you down yet, but I know what the joke ballots are, and I do have the ability to exclude them. I'm talking to you people who voted Adam Ernie as the MVP. I'm talking to you, person who voted Taro Hirose as the MVP.
Maybe they don't know what MVP means. What could V be for something bad? Most volatile player? It could be Adam Ernie. Who's your MVP, Sarah? Personally,
Larkin.
It's got to be. I mean, what? I guess if this season didn't make you like love Dylan Larkin or like accept Dylan Larkin, because there's people that are still yelling that he shouldn't be captain, that he's too immature. He
has put up with Helene from Drooms every post game. You can bleep that out if you need to. But he has put up with these post game interviews.
Yep.
With grace and mature. Like, if that's not a proof of maturity, not just being like bleep, middle fingers.
Just go like the whole time.
Just, like that's a side, like he handles himself. He's the one who always has to answer so what happened out there? We sucked.
Yeah, we lost the game. Did you look at the score?
About him saying they like calling people out.
Yeah, that's what people. So that was one thing people were mad about, is that in one of the post game pressers, he had said that like we're not just going to all go play and then get handed candy after the game like we did a good job. He's like, this isn't peewee hockey anymore. And people are like, you didn't have to throw his teammates under the bus like that. He could have said that privately in the locker room. I'm like, no, that's what a captain does. A captain demands accountability.
He throws himself Absolutely. Right under there. He's not like, well, I scored a goal, so what the hell was everyone else doing? Me and Mo are like just doing everything. And Ned, like, come on.
Yeah.
Give Ned a break. He throws himself right there, and that's what Zetterberg did. They have different ways of handling interviews. Like Zetterberg always started with a groan, like
and an eye roll,
and like the beard rub and like a sip. But and when Cronwell kind of stepped in that in between season, he was always like, "Yeah, we sucked."
Bye.
It was just brutal, and that's what you have to do. And then people are like, hockey players have no personality. So Larkin comes in, and his personality is telling the truth.
Dare you?
Not being like, well, we kept our legs moving. They just didn't move very fast. He's just like, no, we blew it.
Yeah, we sucked. We didn't score goals, and they scored more goals, and our defense was bad. Like, he explained exactly what happened, and people got mad at him explaining exactly what happened. And I mean, it's like, what more do you want from the guy? And I think Yzerman even said it in his end of season press conference. He's like, these guys come out, and it's not easy answering your guys' questions every night. I mean, thank God you're not Toronto media, but you ask the same questions every night. But they're not asking, like, I think Sheldon Keefe was asked the other day, why do you put your worst defenseman out there in a high pressure situation? And Sheldon Keefe responds, who's our worst defenseman? They're like, Justin Holl. And he's like, oh, that's your opinion. I'm like, Toronto media has zero filter. They're just going to be like, why is Justin Holl your worst defenseman? And why are you putting him out there? But Dylan Larkin, he puts up with a lot of shit. He's got to answer the questions as a still young kid. I mean, he's 25 years old. People forget. And night in and night out is out there being the captain. And it's the he's the Batman of the team, not the captain they deserve, but the captain that they need. So I got to give it to Dylan Larkin. He's just...
Right, Stevie?
Yeah. Aw, kitty cameo. She stopped trying to figure out what was going on outside.
She did, because now there's dogs barking. So we'll just get like screaming animals from my
Do
from
you
my
live in
side.
near a zoo, Sarah?
No, I mean, isn't Washington D.C. a whole zoo? Um, so
Well.
in some way,
Were you supposed to go
yes.
cha cha after that or something?
No, there's just dogs and cats and birds and Joe Biden flying on a plane and the Air Force Base. Other than that, perfect silence.
You got a lot going on. Do you have anything coming up besides the Red Wings Awards? Okay, so when do people have to have their ballot in? I guess that's the question. Like, go vote. The link is pinned to your Twitter at Helmeroids
Yes.
on Twitter. When are you going to shut it off?
I'm gonna shut it off probably that's a good question. Wednesday, the 18th, probably in the morning, or like midnight, the 17th. Give me a couple of days for these, because when races are like really close, then I actually do need to cut it off. Sometimes if everything was a runaway, I'd be like, keep voting. I already know the result. Do whatever
you
you
can
want.
already make your graphics.
So yeah, so we'll say, vote in the next week and one day. And if you submit a trolling ballot, I will know and I will exclude everything. So for all of you who were saying the best game of the season was June 12th, 2009, fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
That isn't even nice. That isn't even a troll. That's just mean.
That is mean. That is a
Targeted
personal
harassment.
attack on me.
I think so your vote does matter, as long as you vote correctly.
I forgive a lot of people who don't understand how to type in a year. Fine, we've got some games from the 2000s. We have games from the year 22, from the year 15, when Michael Bunting was just breaking into the league. Like, I'll sort those out. But you 2009ers,
Yeah, you
fake
gotta
Philip
go.
Zadina, I'm coming for you.
Hit the bricks, you 2009 trolls. You mean when the Red Wings won the Stanley Cup in 2009? That was a great year. Tyler has a shirt from it, I think.
Yeah, I've got a shirt. It was the best birthday I ever had. Was not ruined at all.
I think fill it out correctly, and we'll all have a good time with it.
If you really think that the number one trader is Oscar Sundquist,
I don't know what to say to you.
But if fine, I'll take that. But if you voted like every single award, Oscar Sundquist, I am gonna notice. Some of it I won't care because it's a runaway, but you might have Ralph Nader this, you young people who totally get that.
We need a hanging Chad. That's what we're gonna get in this one.
I'm gonna take this to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, and they will make.
And the Supreme Court is me. I am the only authority. This is a dictatorship. The meme factory is a dictatorship.
You like the meme factory? It feels a lot like Willy Wonka's factory. That's what's happening over there.
We're all Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, you rule over all these people, and you force these little orange people to make memes for you.
I make everything myself, and I have but it's a lot of color. There's probably candy involved, but not in a creepy lure children into my house way. I would be like that's like a gingerbread witch thing. I'm not there yet.
You're the Lisa Frank of the Detroit Red Wings Twitter.
Absolutely.
That's what's happening. Do you have anything else to promote besides the Red Wings Awards? Are you still doing stuff with Winging It Motown?
I'm still doing stuff with Winging It in Motown. I don't really have anything to promote other than if you haven't chosen your bandwagon for some reason, I posted some bandwagoning advice on Winging It in Motown. You can check that out. Other than that, garden. Everyone go plant some shit. The world needs more gardens. That doesn't even have to be a garden. It can be like Jumanji. That's what mine's like. Just throw things everywhere.
I think I have to wait until the end of the month for my garden because I think our final frost is like the 23rd of May this year. So it's the starters are actually sitting. If I turned my camera, you could see them. They're sitting on the couch in my office because that's what gets the best sunlight. So my vegetables have already started. They're just waiting to go outside and not die, or maybe die, depending on how they live their life.
Well, if they want to be little cowards, that's their business. I mean, Survival of the fittest. You don't see Dylan Larkin sitting inside when it's cold out.
Ryan, final thoughts before we sign off.
Final thoughts. I hope this weather sticks around that we had today. Speaking of weather, because it was fantastic. It's nice to see some of my neighbors getting out and mowing their yards. Yeah, I'm one of those, Sarah. So I apologize.
Gotta have the crisp lines.
See, I've got a group chat with two of my neighbors now. We talk shit about whose lines are better.
All right, Hank
Oh
Hill.
man,
that's where we're at now.
How old are you? Ryan?
We're to that point of Hank Hillism too. We sit outside talking to each other along the street drinking beer.
Oh, you would hate my yard.
So I
don't mind yours because you've planted things there, and it actually is like it makes sense. And
I wouldn't say it makes sense, but it's a
smorgasbord.
It covers my sins.
And I've actually been seeing people talking about stuff like that around my area about how they're encouraging more of not a non-yard, if you will, and more of just
natural growth.
Yes.
Do it for the bees.
Which is not what Manscaped promotes. Manscaped does not promote natural growth.
I am very much on the Manscaped bandwagon when it comes to personal and professional hygiene.
I actually looked up last year, Ryan, how to tie weights to, you basically chain a doormat to the back of your lawnmower and put weights on it so that you can do the patterns like in a baseball field. It flattens the grass.
I was really worried about where you were going with that.
He went for Manscaped talking about chaining weights to something.
No, to the back of your lawnmower, you can chain like a welcome
euphemism?
Actually, the groomer that Manscaped makes is called the lawnmower. So, but you can do that, Ryan. You can.
Why would you need to do that? They make little kits that connect to a lawnmower that stripe it.
Well, if you're cheap and don't want to buy the kit, you can just chain a welcome mat with some weights on it to the back of your lawnmower.
If you don't just have those things,
or if you live in Kentucky and don't have access to the internet or Amazon,
you don't mess with country folk. They come up with ingenuitive ways to do everything.
But those are your final thoughts, Ryan?
Don't mess with country folk. Already Ryan 33.
My final thoughts are: remember, the lottery is tomorrow, and this should hopefully be posted by the time the lottery happens, or you're going to listen to it and be like, the lottery is tomorrow, and then try and tune in and nothing's going to be there. But I believe I'm going to start a Zoom for the lottery. I don't know. I don't want to be Zoom trolled by a bunch of people on Twitter, but you can also head over to our Discord and we might broadcast it there. But I'll post something on Twitter and there will be a link to the lottery. Other than that, Sarah, I want to thank you for coming on and talking to us. We love talking to you and interacting with you. You make Twitter a more enjoyable place, probably more enjoyable than it should be. So you can follow me online at Bringing the Wing. You can follow the Grindline Podcast online at Grindline Pod. You can find our merch shop at redbubble.com by searching the Grindline. We also like to give a shout out to Vintage Detroit. If you follow them at Vintage Detroit on Twitter, it's the only place you should get your hockey, baseball, basketball, football jerseys from. Your Detroit apparel, they're amazing. The people over there are amazing to work with. If you go to Bring Hockey Back and use the promo code Grindline, you get 12% off. And if you use that same promo code at Howie's Hockey Tape, you will get 10% off your order. Again, Manscaped, if you use the promo code Grindline, you will get 20% off your order with free shipping. And we also give a shout out to the Hockey Podcast Network at HockeyPodNet for hosting us and spreading our podcast all around. And go subscribe to our YouTube. If you stayed to the end of this, thank you. I applaud you. Go subscribe to our YouTube. I think in the past 2 days, we got 85 new subscribers. So we post everything there.
Post 100.
You can fortunately or unfortunately see our faces on YouTube and the reactions we make. And it's less edited. So you get to see how terrible we actually are at conversation without me having to edit everything out.
Blindly staring for 3 seconds.
Yeah. All internet disconnects. Actually, I can edit out the internet disconnects. So, but that's going to do it for us tonight. So for Ryan, I am Greg, and thank you, Sarah. You stay classy, Hockey Town.